I am honored to close the mini keynote-a-thon this afternoon and talk about something that I love talking about the most. And that is keynotes and how to create them. So the first thing you need to do is... Okay. I love talking about my students, and I love to ask you who will tell your story. And I love to tell stories through the power of video, because the power of video to share your story is unlike any other time in our history. And so today I'm going to share with you some of those stories. The first one I'd like to talk about is a young boy named Donnie. Donnie's babysitter was the television growing up. That's me. Single mom. And I never could have expected that Silver Spoons would have had such an amazing impact on my love for television and film. But it did. And I loved watching television and film. So I studied it, went to college, and became Donnie G on the radio and television. And decided to tell the stories that were in the media. But I didn't like the direction of the stories in the media. And I decided I wanted to redirect some of those negative media narratives and change course and tell a new story. So Donnie became Don. And Don became a teacher. And the excitement that I have to teach my students the ways to create positive media, to change the media narrative in their world. And I have a couple of success stories with some students I want to tell you about. The first is Lillian. Lillian came to me as an exciting, awkward freshman who wanted to be a journalist and tell stories, but she was very nervous. So I created an environment in my classroom and gave her the space to really explore her passion to the point where she was accepted at the Cronkite School of Journalism, Arizona State, just finished her freshman year, and she became so qualified that the CW6 in Phoenix hired her as a professional journalist already. Pretty cool. To Joe. Joe came to me as a very awkward 14-year-old who was going to take the world by storm. He wanted to go to Hollywood, make movies, become a famous director, and he knew that he would. And he had many people tell him that he wouldn't. But I believed in him, and I gave him a space to explore that passion. Even when his college counselors said, Joe, what are your backup plans for USC's film school? Because you're not going to get in there. Not only did he get into USC's film school, he graduated in 4 years, and as a 24-year-old is producing music videos for the Grammy Award-winning Kendrick. Pretty exciting. To my student Ben. Ben was my first year teaching, I had Ben. Ben ran the television show, ran the media department. He was the man. He was going to be a professional journalist. But what Ben was doing was not that quality work. So I said, Ben, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to give you some greater expectations and goals. The second day of second semester, he came in with a drop slip. He said, Mr. Goble, I don't want to do your goals. I don't want to meet your expectations. And so he dropped. He did go on to college to study journalism. He sent me an email during his junior year apologizing to me, saying he wished he knew then what he knew now. And Ben covered last year the Ebola virus in Africa and won a Pulitzer Prize for the New York Times. Now, although these stories are really exciting and inspiring, one of the most inspiring stories of my career so far as an educator occurred last year at iPadpalooza. And I had no idea this was about to happen. So I came to iPadpalooza to talk about my famous 6-word story, 6-shot videos, talking about mobile journalism, but really allowing you and empowering you to tell your story through video. And I found a tweet of a student who had come to one of my sessions, Liz. Now, Liz was the student that really has changed the way I do professional development. Because I saw a tweet from Liz that said she was having a great day, learning so much here last year, and she actually tweeted at me and said, you gave me the tools I needed to feel confident and put myself out there. But I didn't know what that meant yet, until a week after iPadpalooza, when Liz tweeted towards me and Felix Giacomino and thanked us for inspiring her to make a video of her cancer story.
So I am ready to tell everyone my story. My name is Elizabeth, and I live in San Antonio, Texas. I just turned 32. I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer about 6 months ago in January of 2015. My life turned upside down, and there were so many questions in the air on what life was going to look like. I've decided to record my story for any other women who may be facing this issue so that they might have a peek at what life really looks like when you get that diagnosis of breast cancer.
The power and courage that Liz shared through the power of video was absolutely inspiring. And I'd like to invite Liz up on stage right now. Liz Reed. So I want to thank you for sharing your story, and I'd like you to share with everybody how you're doing now.
I am cancer-free. I just have 1 year cancer-free.
You guys, you have no idea the possibilities for inspiration this week. I hope you have an amazing iPad Palooza and find your voice, tell your story. Liz, thanks for coming back up and letting me share your story.